construction started in 1936, the Sao Paulo circuit is Brazil's oldest permanent autodrome. The track designers took inspiration from three main circuits: Brooklyn in the UK, Roosevelt Raceway in the USA, and Monterrey in France. The current venue is now officially known as the Autodrome Jose Carlos Pace, after the famous Brazilian driver of the 1970s who had his first and only win in Sao Paulo. One of many things Sao Paulo is known for is its largest international population. The city of Sao Paulo has the highest concentration of Japanese natives outside of Asia and features the world's only traditional sumo gym outside of Japan. When Max Verstappen set the fastest lap in the 2016 Brazilian GP, he became the youngest driver to have ever set fastest lap record at just a month over 19 years old. The circuit's former name, Interlagos, translates from Portuguese to between lakes. The circuit's given name due to two lakes each side of the area that were originally used for drinking water and hydroelectric power. Brazil has produced 3 world champions, all of which have won more than one world championship: Fittipaldi, Piquet, and of course, Ayrton Senna, who when winning his third world championship in 1991 became the youngest ever to do so.
Welcome along to the EXFL Tier 2 Season 7 Brazilian Grand Prix. I'm F1 Union, your main commentator for tonight. And yes, 4 minutes into qualifying. Apologies for the slight delay there. But yeah, riding aboard with Chaz F1, who's trying to serve his qualifying ban anytime today. There we go. Right, gap to leader, tyre. We don't need tyre. Right, 14 minutes left then. Ollie gets the first time on the board of a 1 minute 8.5, nearly a second ahead of drifting, and we will await to see what the rest can do. The delay was due to, I'm still trying to find out why we were originally having 19, but there's only 16. Waiting for Laitan, who's always been a common driver this season to race, so I don't know what's up with him. Carbro, don't know where he is either. And Luigi, also don't quite know where he is, but nonetheless, we carry on. Still only 2 times on the board. Frosty Life then coming to the end of his lap as Logan, last week's race winner, 4 tenths off the pace as Frosty now crosses the line to go P3, 8 tenths off the pace as Optic, 1.3 seconds off. So yeah, last week, the Mexican Grand Prix, Ben94 did indeed get a time penalty for hitting Taze into Laitan and spinning him around at turn 1 for the wet race. I've heard, as we are at Brazil, it is going to be a wet race in the race as well. There's so much to uncover, but yeah, it ended up with Logan winning, making the race-winning move on Laitan on the final lap at the final sector, heading into the stadium to win his second Grand Prix of the season. And there is quite the fight going on for third in the standings, as well as the Drivers' World Championship can be decided for the first time tonight but we'll get into that later on. So 6 times on the board. Seb goes up to second, 2/10 off the pace. Alfa Romeo trailing McLaren by quite the gap. McLaren looking to become the first constructor to win multiple Tier 2 World Championships. We've had Haas, McLaren, Mercedes, Aston, Ferrari, Red Bull. So McLaren, who have bode well around here in previous seasons, look to get another increase on that gap as something happened there. Here he is, the championship leader, Birol Frozen. He can win the World Championship today. As he's about to start his lap, I'll just pull up how he can win it. Here we go. Right. So even if Ben94 wins the Grand Prix and gets fastest lap, no matter what he does, wow. No matter what he does, if Taze Frozen finishes P4 or higher in this race, he will be the world champion no matter what Ben does. He's the only one, Ben, who can challenge Taze now. I may as well introduce. How do I pronounce this? Marine? I actually don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, we got a new rookie, a new debutant tonight. And that's already a statement to go nearly over 1.5 tenths quicker than Ollie. A 1 minute 8.3. He is a friend of Frosty Life, who's down in P7 at the moment. The other Red Bull, 7 tenths off the pace. But yeah, right out the bat, provisional pole already for the new debutant. How am I going to pronounce that? Mauritian? Moraine? I'll just say Moraine and go with that. But Frozen, only by 67 thousandths goes ahead of Moraine. We'll just check the chat real quick. Marine. I'll just say Marine, and hopefully that works, because sometimes the J can be silent. Right, 10 times on the board as Chasmeister 2.1 off the pace. Rosie's still in the pits, Callum's still in the pits, Josh has just finished Sector 1. Oren heading through Sector 2 now. Ben94 has invalidated as we approach the halfway stage of the session. Ben94 crosses the line. I think he's going again then. So qualifying as he dips a tyre onto the grass there. Hasn't exactly been his strongest suit in this season. It's something that he really needs to improve upon. In the race he has made up for it. Chaz won after Qatar having a few collisions. He did get... No. Was it USA? Yes, right. After USA, when he made a few collisions towards the end and start of a lap, he got a few penalty points that landed him a qualifying ban. He didn't race Mexico, so it carried over here as he's racing today. So he'll start down in 16th, and we'll see how far he can get up the grid. However, with Lightan at the moment not racing, he has that chance to gain back third in the Drivers' Championship. All he needs is 3 points to do that. He'll have Logan and Ollie and Seb trying to gain on him. As here's Ben94 then. He's carried on with the lap as we see him fly past up to the line now. It will be a 1 minute 11.1 slowest time on the board for second in the World Championship. The only driver that can deny Frozen, and at the moment Frozen's currently sitting where he has been for most of the season on provisional pole. It seems like he's going even quicker as we're in the low 1 minute 8s. But yeah, I want to see what Marine can do. Generally don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'll message him, but he probably won't reply with a voice note. Or if, I don't know, one of the guys watching is confident enough of how to pronounce it, send a voice message into the 5 lappers and I'll know. Anyway, Frozen did go quicker into the 1 minute 08s on pole by nearly 3/10. As we see Seb climbing up. Just has to get across the line as soon as possible. Under 7 minutes remaining then in this session. It's going to be a 1 minute 8.6 as Seb does improve, but not enough to gain any positions. Ollie comes across the line to only miss out by just under 400ths of Frozen's time. There's a 71 thousandths down is the AlphaTauri. Josh Hewitt up in 5th. Logan up by 2/10 into the sector 1. Callum not too far behind him. We'll see what he can do. It's going to be a 17.0. He's also up by a 10th. Optic. A second down, I think. Yeah, he's just gone into P8. Drifting on an outlap. There's quite a lot of kerfuffle in the middle sector and barely anyone else in either of the other 2 sectors. Frosty Life crosses the line. I think he's just about to start a lap. Ben 94 invalidated. Chasmeister in the pits. Herosia, Callum and Orange still yet to put a time on the board. Frozen in. Ollie will follow him soon. And across the line then, he improves by 700ths, but it's not enough to gain him any ground in terms of position. But it's still, at the moment, as he goes off there, P3 on his debut. Yeah, the new guy is from the Netherlands, same as Frosty Life. Marine. Yeah, I was pronouncing it right. Marine. I'll just go with Marine. So Marine, only under 2/10 off provisional pole. We have 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes remaining in the session. And at the moment, yeah, great start so far for Marine. What can everyone else do? Drifting, up by nearly 3/10 in sector 1. Frosty Life, he's up as he approaches the end of his lap. So let's see how far he can gain. It's across the line. P7, exactly 1 second off the pace. We look back to drifting then. His improvement would put him back ahead of Frosty for P7. As Oren is disqualified and will join Chaz on the 8th row of the grid. Doesn't get in the way of drifting. Didn't quite catch what his second sector split was. We'll just have to wait and see. As he's about to cross the line then. Up across the line for the Alpine then. It's going to be a 1 minute 8.7, which puts him P6. It puts him ahead of Logan. Interesting. Good pace from the Alpine then. And that actually puts Oren behind Chaz. So I guess Chaz has benefited. And then Cal on his outlap. Unfortunately crashing towards the end after staying in the points for so long. His own mistake. Let's hope he can rectify that in the race tonight. So yeah, it's going to be a wet race, I've been told. So who here excels in the wet? Josh Hewitt has had some good races. Seb, potentially. Marine is a bit of an unknown. Ollie and Frozen. I mean, last week, the first 2/3 of the race were wet. The race before that, USA, I think it was dry. Qatar was definitely dry. Singapore, I can't remember actually. I think it was dry. Right, 3 minutes 13 to go. Only 39 thousandths covers the top 2, and they'll all be getting ready to do their final run. Ollie out then, before Frozen. Same with Marine. Rosia, still no lap time on the board. Callum, 17.1 in the first sector. We'll be expecting low 17s, maybe into the 16s for the first split. Ben 94 down in P11, 1.5 seconds off the pace. Callum about to finish the second sector then. This might be his only time on the board, so he's got to make it count. 52.2. The last corner you really have to worry about, as it's now foot flat to the floor. climbing through the gears. DRS open now. And now shortest route to the line. And it will be a 1 minute 8.993, just about in the 8s as he goes P8. And that will be the highest he can go unless he is fueled for another run. So who's starting their lap? Here we go, Marine into turn 1, then riding on board with the AlphaTauri, and that's already an invalidation. Unfortunately, he's taken too much of the inside curb, and unless he is fueled again, that is it. He can get around, as we see the McLaren in front of him, Frozen, exiting the pit lane. Ollie has just begun his lap until he's also caught out by the exit of the Senna S, and that will be qualifying for him as well, unless, again, he can make it to the line. So Frozen's two closest competitors at the moment have already ruined their laps. Ben94 exiting the pit lane. I think he's the last driver out. He is indeed. So he will be the last one to set a time on the board. Chasmeister invalidated. Herosio is out, but he's already invalidated too. They're all struggling to find that extra pace. What about Seb then? Invalidated as well. Josh Hewitt on an outlap, drifting just in front of him. Logan, can he do the exit of the Senna S? Yes, he can. So let's see what he can do with DRS open. Heading down to the Ciudad del Lago into turn 4. Has he found any more time? Yes, he has. By 0.2 of a second. Watch out for Logan then, as P4 is a possibility for him. Josh Hewitt heading into turn 1, drifting just in front of him. And now we're going to see the times tumble. BOL Frozen entering turn 1 then. And he's just about kept it within limits. Frosty Life also heading through turn 1. Callum up by 0.2 in the middle sector. Optic heading through the final sector now, but he's 11 seconds down. Ben94 into turn 1, then he will be the last to cross the line. To cross the line now is Chasmeister, as the session is going to end in 15 seconds. Herosia, that seems like it's done for him. Oh, it's Frozen's off as well. That is it. Frozen will not improve. So 39 thousandths is the gap between Pole and Ollie. But can anyone use this advantage? Logan goes up to third right at the end, 5 thousandths ahead, as Callum makes it a double Red Bull in the top 5. What can Josh Hewitt do? It seems like he's up by a few tenths, drifting. What about him? Right in front, giving a bit of a slipstream to the Aston Martin. We'll see them cross the line then. Here comes the Alpine first. 7 tenths down. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. What about Josh? Across the line, he improves, but not enough to gain position. Frosty Life right behind. He's down by a little bit, but he'll cross the line to stay P10. Optic, no. Across the line. Marine stays where he is then. P4 on debut. What about Seb? He's down by a slight amount. As Optic spins, that's it for him. As Ben94 right at the end goes P7. Seb still a tenth down unless he has a mental straight line speed deficit. That will be it. And that is qualifying. As Seb crosses the line now to stay where he is. And by 400ths, BOL Frozen is on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. As Joshua has a 5-place grid penalty. Didn't catch that. Oh my god. It's wet. Oh, Lightan's just responded. Commitment came up last second. Unfortunate that Lightan will not be able to start this race. But yeah, it is. I mean, it was like this for Mexico, but they were he had inters on. So here we go. Nope, full wets. And it might be the entire race like this. Aha, here we go. Right then, here we go. The Tier 2 Season 7 Brazilian Grand Prix. A champion could be decided tonight. As the 5 lights are out, the revs rise. And we're restarting. I knew that was way too long a wait. Brilliant. I always time it right, and then when there's a delay I get scared that I've timed it wrong, but it's not because the safety car glitch happens again. Well, at least I know the weather. Hope everyone's having a good evening and appreciates the waiting. Hopefully we'll get back underway in a minute. Right, well that's 12 out of 16. So looking at the weather icons, um, yeah, all 7 icons are the same. It's just 2 lines of rain and great, full wet the entire time. That's great. And why Chasmeister's spectating? There we go. Who's not here then? Yep, we will get underway in a few minutes. As soon as Ben and someone else join. Frozen, Ollie. Wait, hang on. Marine, Callum, Seb. Yep. Ben, Josh, Drifting. Yeah, Josh. Missing Hewitt. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Alright, Frozen. There's Josh. Logan. Ollie. Callum. Seb. Drifting. Oh no, Ben. Oh, come on, Ben, hurry up. Oren, Chaz. Rosier. The other Chaz. Optic. Frosty. Cal. Josh. Drifting. Yeah, just wait for Ben. And then obviously Josh's 5 place. Etc. Come on, Ben. There we go. Wrong thing. Right, P7. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. I didn't say ready up, but sure. Right, Ben P7. Oh, Josh was P8. Okay. With the fireplace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Right. Just double check. Very wet. Yep. Alright, they can ready up. It's always 5 minutes. Like dead on. Right then. Second time lucky. Got a minute, half a minute at least. Right. Pull up the championship. Zip, I'll remind you again. Oh, brilliant. This better not be like USA again. That's crucial, isn't it? Right, here we go then. They're all on the wets, all deciding their fuel strategy. And we're ticking down now to the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Remember, all Taze Frozen needs tonight is P4, and he will become the newest EXFL Tier 2 Season 7 World Drivers Champion. With the 5 lights going out, the revs rise, and it's lights out, and away we go at Sao Paulo. Frozen crawls off the line as they're all sliding, but into turn 1, he has the lead, and down the inside is Marine of Ollie going deep, and Seb making a good start, and Callum already up ahead of Logan as he's lost 3 places, but round the outside goes the Red Bull, challenging the Haas. Slight contact as he's got the teammate behind him, and now dropping down the order is Oren and Herosia. Optic watching this all unfold as there's chaos going through the field. Ben 94 has to get back in as soon as possible. Into the Skilo de Lago for the first time. Ben from the AlphaTauri from Seb up to third. Ollie going off as the Red Bull is on his inside of Logan, trying to take fourth, and Ollie has spun around. They're all trying to avoid him, and Ollie, after being on the front row, joins his Haas teammate in synchronized spinning as Oren will get past the pair of them, and Herosia will follow too as Chaz F1. What a start from Chaz F1! From P15, he's up to 6th, and he's on the back of Callum now for 5th. As he's about... Oh no, lag. As he nearly runs into the back of him. Down the inside is drifting for P6 as we see the two Hasses swap. But what a start from Chaz F1. Let's see positions gained. 9 positions gained as Ollie has lost the most of 12 as Herosia and Chaz are fighting. As we're seeing Callum and Josh swap positions. Chaz in a bit of a sandwich here as... Here we go then, the AlphaTauri of Marine trying to take the lead from Frozen on his debut. As Frozen blasting his battery to stay ahead, leads them then into turn 1. The AlphaTauri, then Seb, then the 2 Red Bulls fighting it out. And then Chaz drifting, Josh as Ben's back in, Callum, Frosty, Ben, and Optic fighting, Oren, Ollie, Herosia and Chazmeister fighting. Ollie and Herosia as Chaz has spun again. Just enable all this real quick. Anyway, looking further into turn 1 there, Herosia and Ollie. Ollie spun again, 2nd lap in a row with a spin, as Chaz is up into P5 now ahead of Callum, as Callum loses the position to Drifting, who pretty much forces him off the track there. They go wheel to wheel then into turn 6, the Alpine, and the Red Bull slight contact, but Drifting gets ahead as Josh Hewitt looking for a send on Callum to make it 3 places lost for the Red Bull, as Josh politely just gets in front, and now he's trying to send it on Drifting, and this time he barges his way through as we got a yellow at the front. Logan, last week's race winner, has caused a VSC after spinning with no front wing, and that's dropped him down to P10. Usually that would cause a safety car, but only now is it a VSC. But Logan, after an unfortunate start, it gets even worse. Down to P10, but that will be need fixing, and he'll drop all the way down to the back. Ben 94 then, this helps him at least relax a little bit. He's down in P12 then, after disconnecting. I don't know about his setup, but he's going to have to try everything he can, because at the moment it's a guarantee that this man is going to win the World Championship in 33 rotations time. As Chaz F1 then, after that spin from Logan, finds himself in P4. Amazing stuff. 11 positions in 3 laps. That is sensational. As Ollie drive through for speeding. A bad day gets worse as it's not even over, so he's clearly not been paying attention. Oh no, now it is. As Ollie into the pit lane. Chazmeister going off there. Logan changing his wing. Herosia still carrying on as Ollie. Oh my god, as there's the lead of change of leadership. Frozen's gone off there, and that means we have a new race leader of Marine taking P1 ahead of Frozen, and there is Seb. Can he try anything on the championship leader? No. So Frozen has gone off. And whether that was on his own or Marine hit him, whatever the case, he's not in the lead anymore. Chaz F1 2 seconds off this, as we're seeing Optic versus Callum fighting Callum later on the brakes. A little bit of contact, forcing the AlphaTauri wide. They go wheel to wheel into turn 10 now. Who's got the opposition? It's going to be the AlphaTauri barging his way as Callum, lucky to still have all 4 wheels on his wagon, loses a place now to Ben until the lag appears not. But now Ben will try the switch on Callum. But it seems like Callum will stay ahead as it is as Ben is out. Oh, is that? Oh, it's because he's left. And that could depict the World Championship right there and then. As Frozen's lost ground to Seb as they go wheel to wheel into turn 1. More connection issues, more heartbreak for Ben. It happened in USA. It happens in Brazil as Seb all over the back of Frozen now. As Marine 3 seconds ahead. This is a brilliant debut for him. But yes, the only driver who can deny Frozen the World Championship is now the first retirement of the Grand Prix. And it's through no fault of his own. We've seen this all season, so many issues because that have hindered his races due to his connection. And it's once again hampered again as Ollie goes off. This is not a usual sight to see his optics out, and that could be a safety car. It is a safety car. As he's lost the rear there, you can see his car in the wall, and that has caused the safety car, so that has ruined Marine's gap to Frozen. Ollie into the wall there. And this will bring him back into play after an awful 3 laps for Haas. Ollie, oh my god. Are we going to see this as quite a lot? The cars can't just stop for the pit lane. Anyway, this will help Chaz as well. That gap goes down. I don't think any of them need to pit really, because they don't need to make any mandatory pit stops. But yeah, Marine from P4 leading. Frozen from P1 drops a place. Seb up by 3 places. Chaz up by 11. Josh Hewitt also up by 8. That 5-place grid penalty, no dirt off his shoulders, up to P5. Drifting's gained a couple. Callum's lost a couple. Frosty up by a couple, but he's in. Can he stop on time? Yes, he can. Callum then will gain a place. Hirozio up by 4. Oren up by 5. And yeah, this will help Logan get back into the action. Chaz Meister, for the first time I think all season, is ahead of his teammates. Ollie is lapped. After 4 laps, he's lapped. Now what does he do here? Does he try and unlap himself at the expense of any penalties? It's his risk. But if he wants to get back into this race, he's got to try something. How many penalties does he have? He still has a drive-through. So, don't really see how his race can get better from here. So yeah, that sets it in stone. With Ben out, all Taste Frozen needs is P4. If he finishes 5th, the championship goes on to Las Vegas, where Ben can still potentially... Wait, no. Wait, hang on. What am I saying? I think that's it, isn't it? '67. Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at your Tier 2 Season 7 World Champion, BOL Frozen. With Ben out and the 67-point advantage he has, it's like Qatar in real life all over again, because his rival is out and has no pursuit to gain 15 points on him. I mean, we'll save it to the end, I guess, but we know what the result of the championship is now. Obviously, Ben retiring isn't fair on him. He needed to outscore Frozen to keep it alive, and Frozen, no matter what he did, just needed the 4th. But because Ben is out, at the end of this race, we know what's going to be decided, but we'll wait until then. Frozen has been the star driver of the season, and now he can do these last 3 races. with that if he ever had any pressure off his shoulders. But we'll focus on the race, and then we'll focus on what's just transpired there. Heartbreak for Ben, as he's actually got to watch his shoulder for second in the championship now. As the likes of Chaz, Seb and Logan and Ollie, well, not at the moment for Ollie, will tend to gain. The safety car will be staying out one more lap due to Chazmeister not catching the pack. Ollie, another speeding penalty, and he retires. A bad day gets worse, and that is it for Ollie. He changed the tyres, but he won't be leaving. He will be staying and rolled back into the garage. No, he won't. He'll be going. Never mind. Realistically, he would, but that just leaves us with 13 then. Marine leading his first ever laps of his career in his first race. Frosty Life said he had a friend. I thought he was going to match his pace. Didn't know he would be leading in his first race. But without him, we're kind of reminiscent of the first half of the season when it was this man Frozen against the two Alfa Romeos. Now what's going to happen here? Will Seb let Chaz go? Because Josh seems like he has good pace. Drifting. Probably his best performance of the season so far. Callum, he'll be looking to score the points at the moment for Red Bull. Logan's got some work to do to climb through the field. Chazmeister, let's hope he can keep it facing forward for more than 4 corners. Oren nearly into the points. Frosty and Herosia on the move, as the safety car will definitely be in this lap. There we go. Right, hopefully they'll all be single file. Marine will depict the pace as the safety car flies into the pit lane. It seems like Marine's already gone and riding on board with BRL Frozen. Oh, as Marine may have slowed down, I don't know, but we're back underway racing then. And Frozen into turn 1 as Marine goes defensive to the inside. Frozen tries around the outside as Josh Hewitt versus Chaz F1 down the inside of the two Alfa Romeos battling. Frozen loses the rear and through goes Chaz F1 up in a second. And there goes Seb, and Frozen's lost 2 places. Could even be 3 places. Round the outside there's contact with Josh and Frozen and drifting as well. It's all in conspired round. Frozen down to 6th as we have another safety car due to all the chaos that started with Josh. Just like in USA, the contact of 2 cars turning in at different angles has caused a collision, and Josh and drifting all the way down. Chaz F1 is loving this race so far. Callum as well, up to 4th. Frosty, BRL Frozen, lost the rear out of 2, lost 2 places, and then had a collision with Josh Hewitt. Chazmeister up to 9th through all of that. Does anyone have damage? Yeah, Callum has no front wing. Something happened to him as well. Josh Hewitt, no damage. There's a left end plate missing from drifting. Marine then will get to lead more laps. And, oh god, he's gone into neutral there, mate. Get it in first. There we go. Now, I don't think you can if you want, but you can't really take a set of wets 36 laps. They'll be dead by maybe lap 25, 30. So could any of these drivers take the chance to pit onto wets to maybe go to the end? At the moment, no. They're waiting for another safety car potentially. Oh no, here comes Oren. And he slow it down at least. Oh my god, he slowed it down that much that Callum overtook him. Oren just stopped and let Drifting and Callum through. Well, these two have to change their wings, so Oren doesn't really lose anything. Unless he has to change his... Oh, he does. Never mind. Wonder if the other two in front will either complain he was dangerously slow because he stopped, or they'll thank him for giving him a free place. But, okay. Okay, Oren. I'm not sure Inter's work, mate. Maybe it's a good thing you're at the back so no one else has to watch and get held up. Because I don't think that'll work, mate. Anyway, 13 left. No time penalties for anyone. So Frosty's pitted, and he's up in 5th with 4 laps fresher tyres. I mean, obviously, after 2 safety cars, these are going to help those who haven't pitted. Their tyre life will extend. Penalties, no. Look at that, Chaz F1. From P15, it was going to be last before Oren disqualified himself, up to P2. Seb up 3, Callum up 1, Frosty up 5, Rosie up 7. Biggest loser at the moment is Logan and Frozen. That's really it so far. So Marine then started down in P4. Is now definitely one to watch for next season. In the AlphaTauri of Sin Icon's car, he couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure he'll be loving what is where his car is right now. But yeah, Alfa Romeo up in 2nd and 3rd. They seemed like the favourites to win the championship around Spain, and then Frozen and Cal as well started to eke on their mistakes. Seb not racing a few times, Chaz with quite a few unlucky moments that brought him out of this championship fight. But at the moment, he's just focusing on the race, and it's working for him. He said he loves it here at Brazil and Vegas. Will be, yeah, this time next week, the first ever EXFL Las Vegas Grand Prix. Who will win out there? It's going to be absolute chaos with these lot. But it's what we love to see every Thursday night. Every week there's something different, and this week we got a new driver, we got a new race leader, and for the second time he's going to depict the start. The only thing questionable I've seen so far is I'm wondering if he sped up and then slowed down at the first one. Hopefully that won't be the case this time. Safety car in then, lap 11 onwards. Hopefully we'll be racing. Frozen has got a job to do then. He may be provisionally world champion now, but I'm sure he would still want to fight for the win like usual. And we're looking there, Chaz F1 getting alongside Marine nearly. Marine depicting when to go. He's now full throttle, and he will set his sights towards the line. Chaz F1 then, here we go. He was last at the start of lap 1. He's taking the lead from Marine into turn 1. They make slight contact, but Chaz F1 is through and he takes the lead. Can he slow it down as Marine tries round the outside? Chaz leaves in the room. Marine has to go off a little bit, and now they're going to go wheel to wheel. But Chaz round the outside from P15. He's up to P1, and now he'll blast his battery to stay in front as Marine trying to challenge down the inside into turn 4. But Chaz F1 leads ahead of Marine, ahead of Seb, ahead of Callum, just ahead of Frosty, Frozen, Logan trying to battle Erosia. Erosia sticks his nose there and stays ahead. Chazmeister on the back of the Red Bull, and now he loses it and he hits Josh, and now he spins again, as that's going to be rear wing damage for the Haas. Oren on those inters, still keeping within a second of these lot. Now let's see what's happening. Frosty versus Callum, little bit of connection there between the wheels. Frosty round the outside, Callum can't do a thing about it, and Frosty up to 4th. As Frozen, will he try and move down the inside? Yes, he will. He got that inch perfect from absolutely hitting the back of Callum. And now Frozen's made up a place too, and Callum's dropped down to 6 once again. He's dropping down the order on an opening restart. So then, 2/10. Chaz has made up all he can then from P15 on the grid. By lap 11, he leads the Grand Prix, but Marine's not done with him, and now he's in the slipstream, blasting his battery to try and retake the lead as Frozen drops down to 7th there. Something's happened with the championship leader, and he could lose even more ground, as through goes Josh Hewitt on 1. Through goes Josh Hewitt on 2 now. Well, Frozen, will he hang it around the outside as Josh breaks later? These two already tangled once in the corner coming up. into the center S. Frozen has to go over. Josh tries to switch back, and this is reminiscent, but this time round, Josh Hewitt round the outside goes wheel to wheel, and they've made it this time. As in front, Hirosia and Callum also battling, as Josh Hewitt has the place on Frozen. Frozen still sends it to the inside. Josh gives him just enough space. Josh goes wide himself now, and Frozen still battling out, as is Callum and Hirosia just in front. Josh squeezed right to the limits of the track, and Frozen gets back ahead of the Aston Martin, and Hirosia gets the move on Callum still, as we're still waiting for kerfuffle, as Josh is back ahead of Frozen, as Cal watching this unfold with Logan, and Frozen dropping down the order more. Action everywhere you look here, and Frozen nearly out of the points, as round the outside is Logan versus Frozen, and down the inside is the Red Bull now. Who breaks later? It's Frozen to go round the outside. Still 3/10 between the leaders as they're battling wheel to wheel still. Logan just giving enough space to Frozen, who still sticks his nose on the inside. Drifting, watching this all unfold as they're still wheel to wheel. Chaz 10 seconds as Logan trying to hang it round. Little bit of contact, and Frozen gets the move done. Wow, everywhere you look, and into turn one. Chaz still holds it as Josh now ahead of Callum, but he blasts his battery to get back at him, and through might go the other Callum as he's now around the outside of Josh, but he has to break in time. He's onto the grass a little bit. If that slows him down, fair enough, as the Aston and Red Bull are fighting, and round the outside, a beautiful move from Josh Hewitt to get up into 6, finding traction in places other people might not have, as here comes Frozen with his teammate in front of him. It's a common theme. Frozen takes pole, something happens to him in the race, and now he tries to come back through the field. There's his teammate going off, and Frozen may try to get Callum, who's struggling here. That might be a warning. Here we go. It'll be a bold move round the outside if he can make it, and you know what he has. What a brilliant, sublime move from Frozen to get himself up in a 7th. Will Cal try anything, as we've got a 5-car battle here? So impressive. You've got to give respect when it's due to the drivers for seeing what they can, as Chaz goes off there a little bit, loses the lead to Marine. As Seb watching this unfold, Chaz trying to keep it on the island, as he's got his teammate right behind him now, as Callum does get the other Callum. We've got a yellow, and it's Chaz Meister at the back. That rear wing, how is it still in one piece? As yeah, Chaz more than a second behind the leader now. Yeah, they battled into turn 11. There's a 3-second time penalty for Frozen. Frozen's really struggling here, as there's his teammate going past him again. As there's Logan going past, no, Callum going past him. There's Logan with 100% battery, and Frozen really struggling here to try and keep ahead of Logan now. 1.2 seconds. Logan hits the back of Frozen, and he does hit into his teammate. So Logan misjudging his braking there, as they make contact. Going off again is Logan because of Taze, and there goes Drifting to try and have a go at Taze now. Taze loses it, and Drifting will get ahead as Taze is blasting his battery to stay ahead once again. Who's late on the brakes? It seems like Frozen has the inch ahead, and he does as Logan goes off again. Oren still sticking with these lot amazingly on the inters. So yeah, Chaz F1 losing ground now to Marine. After taking the lead, it's still not over yet. Frosty, P4. Good race so far from him after making a pit stop as well. If these tyres die, 4 laps later his will. Erosia, kind of in no man's land, but in a Aston sandwich just ahead of Callum as Josh Hewitt in P6. Callum nearly trying to move there. And trying to move there is Frozen on Callum. We've got a safety car now because, let me guess. Ding, ding, ding. Chaz Meister has caused it. And that will help Chaz a little bit with the gap, but he comes into the pits, interestingly. Seb stays out, so does Frosty, Hirosia. Chaz 5 seconds for speeding. I did wonder if it would catch other drivers, and it has. They've been listening to the stream, they'd know you have to slow down an awful lot like that for Josh Hewitt. Callum, that's really quick on entry, but can he get it stopped in time? No, sorry, that's Frozen. Callum stays out. So where will Chaz emerge? Probably in P8 behind Logan. Drive through for Chaz Meister. He'll probably retire at this rate. Logan, another set of inters. Oren, another set of inters. So Callum's pitted, Frozen's pitted, Josh is pitted. Logan loses out to Chaz there. Chaz lets Logan go. I think there was an illegal safety car? Illegal overtake that happened there. Drifting up to 6, Callum, Hirosia, Frosty, Seb and Marine. So Marine hasn't stopped, Seb hasn't stopped, Frosty has stopped. Herosio hasn't stopped, Cal. Oh, Cal on the newest tyres of the top 5, interesting. Same with drifting. Logan 12 lap old, Chaz on the newest tyres in P8, same with Josh, Frozen and Cal. There we go, Chaz is out. And what will... So there's only 3 drivers who have yet to make a stop. Top 2 and Herosio. What will they do? As Marine's going to have to lead the 3rd safety car of this evening. But yeah, that was a great scrap we saw there between the 2nd to 3rd safety car. Marine stays out, so does Seb, so does Herosio. So what does... Oh, there's Logan's in again. So what does Chaz do? Does he pit again to serve that 5 second? If there's not another safety car, he'll have to add that to his race time at the end. Frozen has the 3 second. Callum also has a 5 sec. Logan pits onto the wets. And Oren... It'll be close, but I think Logan will just about stay in front. Oh, right. So the pit speed sign that's usually next to the line heading into the pits has been destroyed. There's only a few culprits. Optic, Ollie, Chazmeister, really, kind of. Or unless anyone else really did, but I'm betting my money on probably on one of the Hasses. Anyway, we're approaching nearly half race distance here, and I think we've had more laps under the safety car than actual racing, which on one side is a good thing, on the other side obviously it's a bad thing. But it's still been a really enjoyable race so far. Safety car's in this lap, that was quick. Neutral again, mate. So Marine. Apparently his move on Chaz was a bit dirty. It was a bit of a send that forced him off. That might be looked at. There's a bit of a gap there from Frozen to Josh. As he's caught it back now. 1.2 seconds. Yeah, Marine will go then. Seb, he's been a bit quiet this race. Not exactly the greatest restart either to have a go at Marine. Frosty seems a bit too far back, but any sort of send could change that. No change of positions into turn 1 apart from Chaz F1, who sent it a bit too much and tagged Callum. USA reminisce of that. But this time he doesn't spin him round, so I think that's all fine. So he gets past drifting, and now he's going to try and get past Callum. Blasts his ERS now to go to the inside of the McLaren, who's also blasting his ERS. Does Chaz go late on the brakes? No, he doesn't. And wheel to wheel there, Herosio and Frosty Life trying to battle it out. Chaz right on the back of Callum, then drifting. Josh, Frozen in 9th. Such a tricky corner because it's usually flat. As here comes down the inside, Chaz F1 on Callum. As Callum's just let him go there. So Chaz, once again, making amazing moves at the restart. Hits the back of Herosio a little bit there. Kind of slows him down in time. So Chaz up to 4th then. Herosio sticking his nose there. Tags Chaz. As that was silly from Herosio because it's going to lead to all sorts of kerfuffle there. Josh Hewitt backs out. Frozen up to 6th from that. Maybe even 5th. As going wide there is drifting. Herosio then, who stuck his nose in and half slid Chaz. And lost himself more ground. As down the inside of 2 people is Josh Hewitt. Barging his way through. Fair move. The 2 Red Bulls down in 10th and 11th. 1.3 seconds out in front then for Marine ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Then comes Frosty and Chaz F1. Not going to let that worry from Herosio deny him. Still fighting forward as he's on the back of Frosty then. Frozen then up to 5th. As Callum and Herosio fighting into the Senna S. Callum gets ahead of the Williams. Josh Hewitt 3 second now. As all over the back, and now he optimizes the mistake from drifting to go clean around the outside. He's making some great moves today as wheel to wheel. Chaz and Frosty. Chaz tries around the outside. This will be amazing if he can make it, but he goes off the track in doing so. He has to concede the position, and there is Frozen. They made slight contact. Do BOL Frozen and Chaz F1 once title rivals this season. Now they're just fighting for the race win. But yeah, Chaz tried to rejoin. He's still going to try and send on Frosty, and he spins Frosty, and Frozen's trying to get past the pair of them. Chazafron on the inside. There goes the other Aston Martin. Frosty gets back ahead of Josh, as there is drifting. All sorts of wheel banging and incident and collisions happening here. As going wide, there is Chaz. And he's going to lose positions here to the two Astons. And if he sticks his nose in, there could be quite the collision here. But he's lost to the two Astons now as he hits the back of Frosty. To Chaz F1 once again. Great start. It's all fumbling now. He tried to go around the outside of Frosty. Didn't work. Rejoined. Had a collision with Frozen. And now he's going to have to work all for it again, as Frozen, while all of that's happened, is back up into third. Right. It's calmed down a bit, but Chaz carrying it on around the outside of Frosty. Goes off. Rejoins. Tags Frosty a little bit. And then goes off onto the grass. And rejoins, just about giving Cal enough room. As oh, here comes Erosia down the inside of the pair of them. Whoa! Chaz F1 going off there. Drops to last. Callum gets a penalty. Wheel to wheel there. The Erosia and Callum. Erosia gets back ahead. Drifting on the back of Frosty Life now, who's absolutely been left for dust by his teammate. The two Red Bulls up 7th and 8th then. So don't know what happened there. Gained 14 places, has now lost 11 of them. Marine 2.3 ahead of Seb. Frozen gaining on the Alfa Romeo. Then the two Astons, then Drifting, then Logan, then Callum, Erosia, the other Cal, Oren. Not actually losing that much because of all the battles. And I'm guessing Chaz has damage. Yep. Either he just got connected and... Oh, as Frozen's got ahead of Seb because he's in the pits and speeds. That's both of them now. Fastest lap for Frozen then. As Seb drops down the order. Yeah, either he just did it on his own or he got hit. Whatever the case. That's Alfa Romeo from 2nd and 3rd to 11th and retiring. So Frozen then already trying to gain on Marine for the lead, but with a penalty. Marine's still looking good. 16 laps to go then. As Seb, after not pitting under any of the safety cars, finds himself down in P11, but with Orange spinning around, it will be P10 now. Six drivers with penalties. 5 without. Marine just saving his ERS there. Frozen trying to do the same after his struggles early on. Finds himself in 2nd. Josh Hewitt on the podium at the moment. 6 seconds ahead. He's going to hope for no safety car, because then he will be able to... Can't remember the last time he was on the podium, but it'll definitely be the first of the season. He tried in Qatar, ran out of fuel. As Marine slides out of the center S there. As Erosia and Callum now battling wheel to wheel. No, they're not, because Erosia's in. So here we go then. Frozen. So they're both blasting their battery. We're going to see a fight for the lead then. Josh just can't quite gather enough as he goes off there. That might be another warning. Oren, 5 seconds of speeding. Will he finally put the wet tyres on? Or has he outdone those inters? Yep, finally he'll put the wet tyres on. So Seb up to 9th. Rosie will exit the pits in 10th. As Oren will also serve that time penalty. No, he won't. He sped, didn't he? So he'll have to serve it next time. As yeah, there's a fight going on here for P4 between Logan, Drifting, and Frosty Life. Frosty Life 16 laps on those tyres, Drifting 4 laps less, Logan 7 laps less. As we'll focus up to the front then. Here we go. Marine has been leading the majority of this race up until lap 22, where Frozen, who's blasting his battery, is trying to take that away. So into turn 1 then. Marine goes defensive to the inside. Frozen tries around the outside then. The top 2 in the race. go wheel to wheel into turn 1. Can Frozen try around the outside? Slight contact between side pod to wheel. Frozen on the inside. Marine gets forced off at the exit of the center S, but carries it on. Slight contact with the wheels, and amazingly they don't crash. And Frozen now takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix ahead of Marine. But with that 3-second, Marine just has to stick with him, as Josh, due to that battling, has gained quite a bit on them. Callum, 5 seconds for speeding. He's having to pit again. So these tyres, everyone's on really, might not go to the end, as Logan gets ahead of drifting for P5. Down the inside goes the Red Bull. Round the outside goes the Alpine, not giving up without a fight, but now he may have to. And now here comes the other Red Bull of Callum trying to get back ahead. So treacherous, trying to go full throttle around there, as Frosty's still trying to hold out on P4. Logan all over the back of the Aston Martin. Marine 78, 67 could be coming back at Frozen here. Just one warning for the AlphaTauri then. It's Logan sizing up a move now, 100% battery. They've pretty much got the same. But now we'll start to blast into turn 1. Frozen still stays ahead as they exit the center S then. Josh has gained a 10th since we last checked. Into turn 1 then. Logan drifting. Seb has caught them, and on much fresher rubber. He goes round the outside of the Alpine and goes off a bit there, but he gets the move done. And here comes Logan. Can he try and get ahead of Frosty this time? He's blasting his battery to stay ahead. Not quite, but Logan, braking late, decides to go for the move, as Frosty will give him the room, but they'll go wheel to wheel. Frosty understeers into Logan, and that allows round the outside Seb, and the slight contact there. Drifting, somehow they're all facing forward. Here comes Callum to get drifting round the outside. Goes the Red Bull on the Alpine. The Alpine has the inside line, has the traction to stay ahead. And somehow, none of them have crashed, as Drifting tries to barge his way past Frosty, who's lost 1 place, 2 places, and at the moment it may be 3. It is 3. Drifting down the inside, gets ahead of the Aston, and it may soon be 4. So yeah, double move there from Seb, I think. Logan tried to get past, Frosty understeered into him, and Seb just took the opportunity to get the pair of them. But 13 seconds off, as there off is Callum. A safety car now would really disrupt the top 3, as outside of a second, 1.1 is Marine. Josh, 2 seconds, has dropped a bit. Callum now regains, as Horosia may get past him. Frosty Life versus Drifting, the only battle really within a second. As a, yeah, that's why, because Callum goes into the pits. So we're 2/3 of the way done with this race. At the moment, Marine will win it, but I think everyone's kind of under investigation for something in this race. And if there's a safety car, the top 3 aren't going to really like it that much. Marine might, because that allows Frozen not to get the gap. Everyone bar 1 scoring a point, and at the moment that 1 will be Callum, but on newer rubber. Can come back into this. Seb, 13 seconds behind them, now comes down to 12. Oh my god, Marine. Marine has not pitted. I've just, oh my god. Didn't even realise that. Wait. That, okay. Interesting. That's actually not too bad as well. The fact he's only 1.4 behind, and he's done the entire race on those tyres. Wow. So he doesn't have to pit. Those tyres are definitely going to be dead soon. And Josh, you never know, P2 could be on here. It was going to be the order of Qatar, Frozen, then Josh. But if Marine can really take those to the end, then fair play. Who else had really old tyres? Frosty. So Seb if we put it to leader, 15 seconds off the lead. It's only 5 laps difference, but still. And then they're all pretty spaced out at the moment, until there's a yellow flag because of Oren, I think. Here comes Callum then. Don't know what he's thinking there. The cat was clearly for the inside. He switched to the out and then didn't get the move done. So we'll have to try again. 1.7 then between Marine and Frozen. Josh 2.7 further back. Nearly 3 seconds. He's not liking these tyres in terms of race pace. Seb, remember 13 seconds at one point. It's now under 10. With 10 laps to go, Seb, even with that 5 set, you never know. Logan has to gain a second and a half to get within that 5 second of Seb. Yeah, they're all spaced out now, which is probably why it's so calm. .5 then, Marine kind of gaining back on Frozen here. As I don't see anyone having issues with fuel. Closest battle on track is for P10 between Oren and Callum. And look at that, Marine back within a second of Frozen. Frozen blasting his battery to stay ahead. Well, this is hugely impressive race pace from Marine on 26 lap old wet tyres. But maybe it's just the groove is working for him at the moment. As Horosia gets past drifting, here we go, battles, and they're banging wheels a little bit, but Horosia gets ahead of the Alpine due to 12 laps extras. The Alpine are drifting, literally drifting to save his race from not ending in the barrier there. Good car control, but yeah. Considering that happened pretty much after the corner, that's a bit concerning. But yeah, Horosia up to P6 then. As here we go. Callum versus Oren. Oren going off onto the grass there. Callum round the outside then. As Oren spins. Oh no. He carries on. The helicopter watching this unfold. As here we go then. Marine 6/10 behind Frozen. With 9 laps to go. Frozen needs that 3-second gap. He was going to do it at a rate of when it got to 1.7. But since then, Marine has just been gaining back on Frozen. And Frozen's been off a few times. He may be finding himself another penalty soon. Josh has dropped off. Marine's sticking with him then. What's the gap? Seb, under 5 seconds now to Josh. So with Josh's 3 set, Seb needs a 2-second gap ahead of the Aston. Logan just vibing in 5th, drifting in for a new set of tyres. Will they all have to stop again? Because it's amazing. Look how close he is to Frozen. These lot making 2 stops. Marine hasn't even made 1. Really interested to see what his tyres are on right now, but amazingly, we could be seeing a change of leadership that was not foreseen when Frozen took the lead. This is incredible. Here comes Marine then. Frozen with a bit more ERS. Marine blasting his ERS now. It's still treacherous to go full throttle here. But here we go then. Marine has the slip. Frozen blasting his battery to stay ahead for now. But Marine keeping Frozen on his toes. A little bit of lag there. Thought he went wide. But into the center S again. Marine just too far back this time. Seb seems like he's gaining a second a lap at the moment. At the moment, the podium will be his. As out the pit lane is Oren. Surprised he hasn't tried to do the rainbow challenge. Frosty at one point was in 4th. Had a bit of a coming together with a few cars. Down in 9th, drifting after pitting in 8th. Callum with 8 seconds in 7th. Hirozia on the back of Logan here then. Can gain massive amounts of time for Tier 2 in wet conditions. Hirozia down the inside of the Red Bull then. Can the Red Bull hang it round? Hirozia has the inside. Logan at his own will is going to try around the outside, but he can't quite. Hirozia is up to P5. And Seb is taking, instead of a second lap, seconds per lap. As he's under 3 now behind Josh. And without that penalty, he would be doing just fine. As here we go then. Back up at the front. Marine is closer to Frozen than last time. And now he's in the slip. And here we go then. Marine might try to take the lead away from Frozen here. They're going to both blast their ERS. And is Marine close enough for any sort of move? As we start lap 30, it just seems like he's not quite close enough. Marine knows he can finish here and win the Grand Prix. To win on debut would be absolutely amazing for Marine. As Seb, there we go, is ahead of Josh because Josh is pitting. 15 laps. Marine's done double that. And he is fighting for the Grand Prix win. This is unlike anything I've ever seen, really, from a Tier 2 driver. Especially on their debut. Josh comes out the pit lane. There's Logan. There's Hirozia. And sliding up one of the most difficult pit entries. There's Logan. Josh will be on newer rubber if he is behind the Red Bull. It's going to be close. No, he's ahead. Yellow, Oren. If we have a safety car now, that would bring quite a few into play. If we had a safety car, would Seb try and serve his penalty? Potentially. That's the last thing Frozen needs, though. So here we go again. Marine might just be a bit too far behind Frozen this time. But amazingly, he's going to try and do the whole race on one set of tyres. Josh will try and close up to the back of Hirozia. 9 laps fresher. I wonder where we could be seeing this driver then. Because if you're the right pace, you'll go through the whole Tier 2 season fine. But early on in the stages of the season, if you're too quick, you'll obviously be promoted. Which is why I'm wondering for like Sin Icon and others. But Marine, out of nowhere. How long's Frosty been keeping this guy secret? Maybe he's just really good in the wet. Maybe he's just really good at Brazil. It is only his first race. It's the only thing we can go off. But at the moment, he's really delivering as Josh has a time penalty. As that's Cow going off there. But carries on. And you can see by the gap to drifting, he's lost a heap of seconds. There we go. Josh has gained up to the back of Hirozia. Oren being lapped is kind of annoying him a little bit, but there we go. He gets ahead. And now Josh will try and get past the Williams for P4, but he needs a 6-second gap in pretty much 6 laps to stay P4 to get his best result of the season. And what is Hirozia doing there? As Josh is going to have to cut the corner. He's going to try and avoid a time penalty, which he smartly does. But Hirozia, not for the first time this evening, has caused a collision there. Josh tried the move. Hirozia moved left. Good car control from Josh. But yeah, Hirozia caused that thing with Chaz. Now with Josh. Been labelled a bit of a hazard this season, but still had some good moments. But yeah, that wasn't one of them. As drifting gets ahead because Cal's in again. Right, Cal's in, serves his 5-sec penalty. Exits out in P10. Seems like Oren will be the one to not score a point at the moment, but Marine only 2/10. Here we go then to start lap 33. This is Marine's chance. It's the closest he's been all race. He's blasting his battery as is BOL Frozen. Frozen's pit thing is flashing, but I think he'll be able to be making it to the end of the race. If Marine can, Frozen certainly can. That's a good exit for Marine then, as we head past the Center S onto the straight. And here we go then, Marine blasts his battery to try and get ahead of Frozen, but Frozen once again blasting his battery to stay ahead, and with no DRS, there can't exactly be any difference between the two. Marine's got to catch Frozen where he least expects it. And he's right on the back, as for Josh is nearly caught up to the back of Erosio as well. And on lap 33, the AlphaTauri versus the McLaren. Does he try anything? He knows he can stay within the 3-sec. But the only thing I'm keeping in the back of my mind is that move he made on Chaz, if it will be sent in or not. But at the moment, we take it how it is from the game. And we won't forget what Frozen is going to achieve at the end of this Grand Prix. But Marine keeping him hot on his heels now. Seems like the gap has stabilised between Seb to Frozen. Seb's another one actually for that earlier discussion. But Marine under 4/10, now over, back under. They're sliding out, trying to get the exit as fast as possible. Trying to activate the ERS as quickly as can be. As Josh does get ahead of Herosia. And Marine, does he try anything on Frozen? Does he want to win his first Grand Prix at his first ever EXFL Tier 2 race on track? Or does he try and inherit it? At the moment he's trying. With 3 laps to go, we got a yellow. Oh, here we go, Josh and Herosia drive through. What on earth has happened there with Herosia? As taking the lead is Marine, and taking it back is Frozen. All happening as Logan gets past Herosia. What on earth has Herosia done? As battling for the lead then, Frozen just ahead of Marine, as Marine just saves it from absolutely undoing 34 laps hard work. Herosia is out. And we don't have time for a safety car. Herosia, my guess is he straight line Josh if he's got a drive through. Okay, there's hazards and then there's just that. That's really kind of disgusting from him. Anyway, moving on. That means Oren will score a point as long as they all make it to the line. So Frozen just about surviving then. Marine briefly took the lead and then Frozen got it back. No really close battles, so we'll stick with these two. Frozen goes off a little bit there. Frosty's left. Alright, into turn 1 on lap 35. Marine still a bit too far behind. Seb will get the podium. Josh, after causing maybe the odd collision, after being involved in a few, after being probably killed a bunch of times, well, yes, come home for, at the moment, P5. Logan could still inherit 4th, but Josh may just extend by a second to get his best result of the season. Logan P5, it's points at least, gaining on Lightan and Chaz for 3rd in the standings, pulling away from Ollie, as Seb may even overtake Ollie after this. Drifting P6, surely his best race still, as he's probably drifted through the whole race. Frosty in P7. Cal probably won't gain 20 seconds in 2 laps on an AI car. Cal may gain on Cal to the end. That'll be for position. But anyway, here we go then. Final corner for the drivers, but in the wet. These corners coming up technically count for them as they're trying to up the gears. And Marine is really close to Frozen then, as we're going to start the 36th and final lap of the Grand Prix. The final lap for BOL Frozen as he goes defensive to the inside. Into turn 1 then, the McLaren holds him off. A driver who's driven sublimely this season, who's perfected so many races, so many pole positions, so many podiums. And at the moment, he will win this on track. but like a few times, he may lose the win because of penalties, but he's been consistent with the seconds and thirds. And while the future of Tier 2 sees another driver, an upcoming promise of Marine, fighting him all the way, Frozen has delivered a superb season, as Marine has delivered a superb drive. He's going to go the whole race on one set of tyres, an absolutely phenomenal drive to still keep the upcoming, soon-to-be crowned world champion still on his feet, and they may still battle across the line, but we've seen this gap multiple times. Marine, at the moment, on debut, will win his first ever Grand Prix, which is a phenomenal achievement, but the highest rank you can win in EXFL Tier 2 is to be world champion, and BRL Frozen, he has destroyed the competition. He has froze the opposition, and BRL Frozen is going to cross the line to be the champion of the world in EXFL Tier 2. Frozen has done it. Marine wins the Grand Prix, but Frozen is the world champion. Seb, another penalty to serve at the line, but he gets P3. Josh Hewitt absolutely destroyed the gap to Logan, who's under pressure from drifting, so Josh will come home fourth. Logan just going to have to hold off from drifting as he tries a move right at the end there. And this is a battle for fifth and sixth then, with all the batteries saved up for Logan. Seems like fifth will be his. It's in his hands. And across the line, here comes Oren then to get P10. Logan comes home P5. Drifting P6. Frosty will come home 7th. Cal is still defending from the other Callum. His teammate has just won the World Championship, and now he's trying to fight for P8. But it seems like Callum for Red Bull will just hold it off. When Ben had his connections earlier on, it meant the championship was won, but we've waited until now. And across the line for these two, Callum will be 8th. The other Callum will be 9th. Marine, at the moment, wins on debut. BRL Frozen, champion of the world. So apparently Frozen's penalty was a straight 3 seconds, so he may have just won the race as well. Quite the eventful race then. Seb also takes home fastest lap. Marine's fastest lap was in the 23s, and yeah, he still kept with Frozen. P2 or P1, that is an amazing debut for Marine. Collision. Oh, it must have been then. Yeah, look at that. Frozen, corner cutting, 3 seconds. Probably should have checked his warnings during the race, but oh well. I don't really think I can invite Marine for interviews. He's on something else, and I didn't exactly was able to invite him to the lobby initially, so anyway, we'll invite Seb and Frozen. first, well, at the moment, second and third have joined the party. I don't think Marine is able to join it. But yeah, Seb, have you included your audio? Frozen, have you included your audio? Okay. Let's go to this. We will start off then. Don't know if he's won or second. Probably has won. But we know what he's definitely won. BOL Frozen, you are the Tier 2 Season 7 World Drivers Champion. How do you feel?
Yeah, feels good. I mean, the conditions were definitely very, very tricky throughout the race. I felt didn't have the pace at the start of the race until I pit for a new set of wet, and I was just basically pushed the whole way by Mario. I have no idea how he even kept anywhere near me with the tires that he was on. But I mean, fair play to him. I mean, he seemed to have the pace the whole race. Really, I was just very, very surprised that he had that amount of pace at the end with tires at the end. It was just pretty good, to be honest.
It has been a phenomenal season for you. So many poles, wins, points, fastest laps, podiums. Probably the most dominant Tier 2 season we've seen from a driver who just managed to edge out that promoting stage at the start, and you've never looked back since. Yeah, Marine, the battle with him. Could you believe he went the whole race on those set and still gave you a good run for your money?
Yeah, I was very, 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 as I said, I was very surprised that he was anywhere near me with them tires, to be honest. But I mean, fair play to me. The penalty should probably get removed. I've got wrist direct and everything. But if it doesn't get removed, I mean, he definitely deserves the win as well. But I'm pretty positive that the penalty should get removed.
Yeah, so just take us through that penalty again. How exactly did it happen?
So basically, I think. Well, let me get the corner up because I'm not familiar with this track. Give me just 2 seconds.
No worries.
It was basically it was an loss of traction. What we'll say.
Loss of traction.
I lost it out of the okay, on my screen. Where's it? There. I think I lost it out of. I think it was 13. I lost it. No, I lost it going into 12. I sort of had a half spin, cut across turn 12, and didn't gain any time to the car head. And if anything, I lost a position. Um,
Is that
but
the final corner, pretty much?
that was that. Yeah, that turn 12 was it's the final corner. Before yeah, basically it's the last proper corner.
Right. All right.
I'm not
I guess
sure.
we'll see then.
I'm not 100% sure. I know that it definitely wasn't. I didn't gain any time whatsoever by doing that.
Embarrassingly, I didn't realize this at the time, but Qatar in real life when Max was champion because of Perez out of the race and all that. Yeah, I didn't realize at the time when Ben retired, he had to actually outscore you, so you were world champion then. Did you know at the time?
I think I heard from a few people in the party I was with, and I just kept my head down, just kept cool, to be honest, throughout the race to just try and get an even better result to get on that championship win as well.
And final question. On one of the restarts, on the exit the Center S, you had a bit of a coming together with Josh, and then it was just all a bit messy. You dropped down to 9th, and then we're up to 6th, and then dropped again. Just what happened there?
Yeah. I just didn't have the right track. I just didn't have the pace on the first set of wets I had. I just had a little bit of a half spins, a little bit of contact with people. But I mean, Marion's first safety car restart was a little bit dodgy, to be honest. He sped up and then slowed down again and then went. So it was very dodgy. So I'll have to see what gets done about that as well.
Kian, Will, Matt, Joe, Thies, Bram, and now Jay. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Seb, what a
Hello.
weird but great race for you, mate.
Yeah.
P3.
It was good, yeah.
So your qualifying was 6th?
Yeah, sixth.
6th. So you made up to 2nd, 3rd with your teammate
Yeah.
until he had his worries. And then you were 2nd before you decided, along with I think Horosia and Marine to stay out throughout all the safety cars and pit only after that.
Yeah, I realized later on to where like I think it was either Charlie or Taze, one of them were like 8 tenths behind me, and I was like, I've got to pit now. I don't have the pace on these tires. But I came in and from that pit stop up until probably about lap 30 odd, uh, my pace was
Insane. You got the fastest
incredible.
lap.
Yeah,
It was amazing. You were 13 seconds behind Josh at one point. Like 7 laps later, you were getting him
yeah. I mean,
before he
uh,
pitted.
we said it. I was on about it in the party. It's like last time I was about 13 seconds behind Josh. Uh, it was Baku this
Mm.
season, and I remember because it was Logan as well, and I just remember just screaming down my mic, just I'm gonna get you, Josh. I'm gonna get you, Logan, and it eventually
Oh
led to them
yeah.
both spinning.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you did.
Josh ended up paying, and then he had that whole
Yeah.
fiasco with fucking Hiroshia.
Yeah. Don't
But
know what happened there really.
no, my pace is definitely getting better as of recent, and I can definitely feel uh something special brewing, either
Ooh.
something soon or maybe next season.
Yeah, you are one to watch for next season after Taze, Ollie, Ben, and Chaz and Lightan go up. But I
Yeah,
think you've got someone new to worry about, Marine. He seemed
yeah,
good today.
yeah. He seems good, but with that, it's one race.
Yeah, we'll see. It's only the one race to go off. I probably should have gone to Alfa Romeo while interviewing you, but anyway, it Taser's the champion, um, and it seems like McLaren may also win the constructors next round. So is that your next aim, Tase?
I think might be. If teaming gets good results, I suppose I probably could. Not saying that Calum's had getting bad results. It's just if we both pull the weight together next race, then we should be good to get the double the constructors on the drivers championship as well.
Yeah, I think it most likely will be won next week. So yeah, you've won the drivers. That pressure, if there was ever any, has been off your shoulders, and now it's the McLaren's turn to make history. Really, the first
I
team.
like to say that me and Charlie are gonna try to put a stop to this.
Yep. I
Good
mean,
luck.
Alfa Romeo.
Hopefully, we should have done it this week, but Charlie binned
Yeah.
it. Dick.
Um,
I love
McLaren
him.
look to become the first team to win more than one Constructors' Championship. It can be won in Vegas, which is quite the spectacle to win a championship. But Alfa Romeo will try and make it 7 out of 7. We're going to need an incredible effort from them. But that has been the Brazilian Grand Prix. Well done to Taze Frozen on winning the Drivers' World Championship. Well done to Seb on the podium. Well done to Marine
Penis.
on a brilliant debut.
Hey, Jaden.
Nope, not hearing it this time. I'm removing you. There we go. Right.
Now.
And that has been the Brazilian Grand Prix. We'll see you next week for Vegas.